I'm unhappy when a congresswoman goes and said, I'm going to be the president's nightmare. She's going to be the president's nightmare. She's lucky to be where she is, let me tell you. And the things that she has said are a disgrace to our country.
President again choosing to go after Congresswoman Omar of Minnesota today, one of the 4 Democratic congresswomen he attacked this week. At an event in Indianapolis today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi addressed the president's original comments on Sunday.
We are heartbroken about what the president had to say on Sunday, and frankly, I didn't really want to pay too much more attention to what he had to say on any subject. But we could not ignore that. So we had our motion to condemn.
With us to talk about all of it from her home district in Albuquerque, New Mexico, is another member of the freshman class in the House, Democratic Congresswoman Deborah Haaland. Congresswoman, what was it like in plain English seeing your 4 sister members of Congress, these fellow members of Congress, under this kind of withering attack this week?
Oh, it's just been horrible. You know, Brian, it's just extremely hurtful. It's hurtful to them, of course, but it's also hurtful to all of us because we came into this Congress. We all got elected in November. We had a number of, freshman orientations that we attended together. We've had opportunities to get to know each other. And, it's hurtful. And it's not, it doesn't surprise any of us, however, because the president, long before he was president, we could tell that he was a misogynist, and that is, he's attacking women. It's no different from, when he was on his campaign. So it is extremely hurtful. We're all, we have jobs to do, though, in Congress. We're all members representing our respective districts, working very hard to make sure that we fight for the people in those districts. And so although, it stops us in our tracks, we keep moving, we keep working, we keep making sure that we're doing the work of the people.
Congresswoman, as the daughter of a Native American, in a way that makes you the most American member of Congress, but precisely the way our system is supposed to work, you're supposed to be no more American than Congresswoman Omar in this country.
And that's correct. And on one quick thing, Native Americans weren't actually citizens of this country until 1924. And so by an act of Congress. So look, yes, I am indigenous to this country. I'm a 35th generation New Mexican. My ancestors migrated to this area of New Mexico in the late 1200s. However, I was raised by my Pueblo mother to respect everyone, to welcome everyone into our home. This is a country, the United States of America, that we share with everyone. And I certainly would never take it upon myself to tell someone that they needed to leave. That's not up to me, and it's not up to the president.
Congresswoman, what do your Republican colleagues say to you these days?
I am with my Republican colleagues in committee, on the floor. I see, not surprisingly, they don't ever bring any of this up to me. And so it's not something that we ever talk about. However, I feel very strongly that the silence is deafening, right? If you're not calling the president out for his racist and bigoted comments, for him inciting the most horrible chants coming out of a rally that he had this past week, I mean, if you're not calling him out for those things, then you obviously are okay with what he's saying and what he's doing. And I just think that the people in this country who are going to vote in the next election, they will remember that. And I hope they do.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.